She's doing that. I don't even know what that's called, but I really enjoyed it. It's like this waterfall of sound coming from her voice. It's me. Hey, I'm so excited to be here with you. I'm Serene, I'm a vocal teacher, and I'm so glad that you have graced me with your presence on my channel. We're going to listen to Floor Jansen sing Phantom of the Opera with Hank Port. Very excited. I've only heard her sing in another song. This is a little bit more musical theater than I've heard her sing, so I'm really excited to hear a different genre for Floor. So let's get into it. Woo! Doesn't this accompaniment just make you so excited? Last little bit is going to give you chills for sure. Now let me tell you, she rules the floor with her voice. No pun intended. Like, she just rules the stage. I really want to say she rules the stage with her voice. Like, amazing, amazing. What is really interesting about this genre that she's singing in is that she's definitely pulling more to the classical side with her voice and more of that classical training, which y'all have told me she has. The two vowels that stuck out to me in the beginning, this little beginning segment, was the word name and came, right? If she were to sing this full-on operatic style, name would be, you know, more pronounced on name in a very open space, right? We have an space with an space. But in this situation, she did a little shallower of name to keep it forward and in the front. Same thing with came. Came would generally in opera be a little bit more came, even more came, right? But she kept it a little more closed and in the front so that it didn't get swallowed in the back, which I thought was really smart, especially since this is not pure opera or classical. This is musical theater. While it does have a touch of classical, it is more, it's more musical theater. It's not classical. Let's keep going.
Sing once again with me, a strange new word.
Interesting.
My power over you grows stronger yet. And though you turn from me in glance behind, the phantom of the opera is there.
It's got that intensity.
Inside your mind.
And I do have to say, even though this is the part where Hank is singing, she was still kind of ruling the floor in terms of performance. Like, she gives this full performance, like, all around. Audially, but then as well as visually, with, like, she is in the character. I feel like Hank's just standing there singing beautifully, right? And that's not me trying to criticize him, but it doesn't feel like he's in it as much as she is in it, you know? So she's much more entertaining to watch for sure. Even though, you know, he's getting closer and he's doing his best, but I feel like there could be more that he could do. This isn't really about Hank, really, but I love how in his voice specifically, he does this beautiful job of really just, you know, his voice just kind of floats up there and he can get up to all his notes and they're nice and in tune. The only time that it kind of bothers me is when he adds a lot of vibrato, because it kind of messes with the pitch and it kind of does that shaky tone. That's not my favorite. To me, that feels kind of old school, and it's not my favorite. But, you know, I think he's doing a lot of good things though too. She's really bringing some theater right here. Beck! Lots of enunciation. And then she had some of that breathlessness in her voice right there. It was lovely.
I am the moss you wear. It's me they
Oh my gosh. Yes, it's me. She's doing that. I don't even know what that's called, but I really enjoyed it. It's like this waterfall of sound coming from her voice. It's me. Really coming down. It's not even a slide because it's moving down and right? If it was a slide, he tends to slide a lot. I feel like that's kind of old school too. Maybe, probably the two things that bug me about his voice. The sliding he's doing, it's taking me on a roller coaster ride. But then also the too much vibrato at times. Not always. Just a little bit here and there. Okay, let's keep going.
Your spirit and your voice in one combine. The phantom of the uprising inside your mind.
That was interesting. There, when they held out Phantom, he had a very widespread phantom, and his tongue was kind of pulled up, so it felt like it was kind of restricting his sound right there. But hers was a little bit more the like a more of a phantom, I think. Let's hear it again, shall we?
It's me they hear. Your spirit and your voice in one combine.
Oh my gosh. And that he had too much vibrato on compline. I'm not sure what the word is, but it sounds like compline. And then we're going to go into the phantom. Listen for his vibrato right here. It's a little too much. It's messing with his pitch.
Your spirit and your voice in one combine. The phantom of the
Hers is more of a phantom of the. It's a very concentrated sound, and it's not just phantom of the opera is there. I feel like on that line where he was singing with too much vibrato, and maybe it wasn't too much vibrato, but it was out of sync with her vibrato. They weren't. It felt off, right? And then with the vowel on phantom, his was just like, it was just like splat. I would have tried to, in rehearsal, you know, if I had any say whatsoever, tried to unify that vowel a little bit more, because while, yes, they are two separate people singing, they're singing a duet, and when they are singing unison, I would have liked a little bit more cohesion between their vowels. That's just me. Oh. She is still in her character so hard. And having a good time. Oh.
In all your fantasies, you always know that man and mystery were both in you.
Oh my gosh.
And in this labyrinth, where light is the light, the phantom of the opera is there.
Woo, they're intense.
Inside your mind.
And on that mind, it was really interesting. She took it, mind, and kind of chewed on it at the end. Love it, love it. If you are in choir, don't chew on your words like that. Your choral person will probably not appreciate it unless he specifically tells you to. But in musical theater, do it all you want. It's fine. Okay, let's hear this next bit.
Music.
Nice. Beautiful. Oh. Nice. Uh-oh. Woo! Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go back to those ahs. Okay, this requires some analyzation. Faux show. You know what I'm saying? Okay, start here. So dramatic. His voice, like what he's sing for me, it's very intense. It's appropriate. I like it. Her first ah was a little bit darker, and like she started it in a brighter place, and then she kind of darkened it to a more of an oh ah. And then the second tone that we went up to, it brightened up a little bit more to be into a more open space. Next, a little bit brighter right here. Not quite so far back, right? Uh-oh. And right here, when I say uh-oh, I mean, she is like, she can totally hit the note. She's doing amazing, but she might have pushed it a little bit because there was a little bit of what felt like a frog or a pop or something to make it kind of sound like she was pushing a little bit. So she backed off and it came out nice and clear, right? And that part in her voice might be a part that is a little bit more tricky for her to sing because the last one sounded great, so. Listen for this, it's again. There's a little bit of that pop. She's pushing it. Oh, man. Nice. And that ending was incredible. So that last note came out so clear. It was clear. The tone was amazing. I feel like in my voice, there is that spot where it's like, if I push it too hard, it just doesn't like to cooperate with me. Kind of like that last one did before her very last one, which was just like, woo! Right? Yeah, it's a D. Is the D, a high D, which I think felt a little bit easier for her voice. Her voice was like, oh, thank you. Thank you very much. That was great. So much fun. So much fun. It was so fun to hear her different genres come up for her. She definitely pulled out more of the classical sound within her voice, but she definitely had still some of her more pop-related roots to kind of fall back on, which I think is appropriate for this type of a song, Phantom of the Opera. He was, you know, I feel like he did a great job for what he does. I wanted him to have a little bit more character like Flor did, because she just eluded her character the entire time, and it just made you want to watch her, which, you know, is fine. But I think sometimes when they would like pan to the people watching, the hosts or whatever, it was probably because he might have just been standing there, a little bit less fun to watch, but the camera loved her because she knew how to work it, man, you know, which is super important when you are a performer. And she does a lot of live performances as, you know, somebody who sings with Nightwish, and it's you know, it's a skill that you have to work on. So what a fun video. What a fun video. And I love to see the little small things that kind of not go wrong per se, but the little imperfections that come up that say, oh my gosh, she's a human. And while she is like out of this world doing incredible things with her voice, I know her fans are like, they love her. I love her. I think she's great. But like those little imperfections of little blips in the voice or things that happen that's like, oh, it just makes you just feel so much better about, you know, a voice like doesn't have to sing exactly perfectly through a song in order for it to be amazing and wonderful, and in order for it to be something that people are excited to watch and proud to hear. It also helps with that perfectionism within ourselves that, oh my gosh, I have to do this exactly perfectly today. Otherwise, you start making judgments about yourself, which you don't need to do. But it helps to know that, while she is amazing, she does have she's still human. And I think that makes her so relatable. And I think that's important to have with people that we look up to in terms of musically and also famous people, whatever. Thank you so much for joining me here at Serene Vocal Studio. Please like this video, subscribe, leave a comment if you feel so inclined. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll see you next time here at Serene Vocal Studio. Peace!